Hello, hello. You think that this is the longest day ever because I already said, hey, this is the 12 Days of Amplify day 3, but we're actually doing 2 today because it's just such a special day. And we're going to be amplifying what's going on for our community member, Rob Still. So I'm going to bring Rob in. Hello.
Hi, Cheryl.
How's it going?
I'm doing great. I'm so excited to be part of the 12 Days of Amplify. It's like a marathon.
It is. It's totally a marathon, but it's also, it's a little holiday feel. But
Yeah.
I thought we could all use a little positivity in our news feeds outside of our Amplify group is so positive and so much focused on growth and just good stuff that I was like, we need to spread the cheer, literally.
Definitely.
So
Yeah.
we're giving this all public and sharing it with hopefully other musicians that are like, hey, I don't know what's possible right now. Like the world is awful. In my email challenge I did last week, I invited a lot of new musicians into my orbit through my Facebook group, and they have to answer some questions to get in. Like, are you a musician? What's your ideal career and what's stopping you? And so like hundreds of musicians said, what's stopping me is COVID.
Wow.
And I was so sad because like back in March or in April, when like gigs first started getting canceled, like, yeah, I totally get that. Like, and we all in Amplify, like really were experiencing that, but like we're 9 months into it. And that to me just says, okay, I haven't been able to pivot and there's a lack of brainstorming, a lack of support around my own career. Like that's what that's telling me. And I mean, it made me so sad. And to see everyone in Amplify just like killing it. Like, oh my gosh, we talked to Wanda who like funded her CD and like other people are like doubled their income over a year. Like it's just been, I'm like, it's possible. So that's why I wanted to get on here. So I'm so glad you're here because you've been cranking all year long. So I want to hear about what's going on for you.
Well, I mean, the way you set this up as far as the whole COVID thing, that's really how I kind of came into your orbit from one of your emails. And I'm so glad that, I got into I can't remember what it was called now. It was called something different back in the summer before it became Amplify.
Oh, I've been running this membership for 4 years. It used to be In the Key Elite. And then we sort of rebranded it and called it Amplify, which is easier to say.
Yeah, and it has a kind of a different structure. But what really, really helped me was this, because I was like really stuck, like the people you were just describing, and the whole thing you just said about how to make a pivot, that was like, this whole thing has been amazing for me in that regard, to kind of help, get some clarity, get some strategy, put a plan to a calendar. What a concept. Yeah. So it's been super helpful to me in that regard.
Would you mind getting specific? Would you put in your calendar that you normally wouldn't have? And like, how did putting it in your calendar make a difference? Like what was the thing and what happened?
Okay, sure. Super. So like one of the first things that you did was these vision boards, and so I've done like 3 or 4 of them now, each month. So my latest one, I don't know if this shows like correctly or not.
Yeah.
But this is my November and December to kind of finish the year strong, right?
Love it.
You just conceptualize what particular areas you're wanting to make sure that you get done, and get the work done. Yeah. So anyway, that was real helpful. Because like a lot of creatives, I have multiple projects going on, multiple, interests, multiple responsibilities, and there's a lot of moving parts. And one of the things really, really super great about your whole thing is like, it helps me get more organized and know what things I want to be focusing on.
Yeah, I love that. What have you been focusing on?
Okay, so there's 2 realms. One is like the big macro picture, and then there's like what I'm doing like right now. So on the macro picture, basically I'm working on I'm in what you call stage 2? That's the production, like making the thing.
Yeah, phase 2 of the musician success cycle.
Right.
Yeah, we've got 5 phases, and every musician, no matter who you are, where you're starting, you're in one of them when you zoom out on your life. And to really own that gives you a lot of power and takes away that squirrel, got to think about other things. So you're in creation, the creation phase is what you're saying.
That's the macro part of it. So basically I've got a 4 album kind of project. I've got like the tracks already done. So I have a big backlog of overdubs and mixing and all that kind of stuff. So I parsed that down into 4 separate albums. I've been working since the summer on one. I've got because of like helping, the structure and such from Amplify. We finished all the overdubs on 10 of them, mixed, mastered, and released one as a single. So my strategy, also because of Amplify, is basically, release it as a series of singles, instead of trying to wait until you got 10 songs done. It's like I'm doing them one at a time, and then I'm making a whole promotion kind of strategy, I guess, around, each single that comes out. So we got one single done, and I got that whole big project going on right now. And then, so the other thing that you really helped me on was the whole thing of building an audience, right? And so one of the early questions I had was about live streaming. And I think I was in the hot seat or something like that, like that. But from that, I really made a decision and a commitment to put on the calendar, when I was going to live stream. So since August now, I've been live streaming. My commitment is to be 4 days a week. I have a morning devotional show for my genre, which is like praise and worship music. Yep. So I'm there 8 a.m. every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. And I've been doing it for 22 consecutive weeks, something like 60, live streams.
Oh my gosh, you go live 4 days a week and you do a live show?
Yeah.
Oh my God. What have you seen like growth in, what have you seen growth in?
So I've seen tremendous growth. Well, first thing, like the audience growing itself hasn't like exploded or anything like that, but I have a super consistent group of people who show up like almost every day.
Wow.
Yeah, it's amazing. And then like another strategy from Amplify, you would say is like, just talk about the thing that you want, so I would just explain, here's why I'm doing this. And hey, I've got this project I want to work on. And, I set up my PayPal, .me if you want to contribute to that. So without even making a big pitch or anything like that, I've had a lot of, donations come in, our partners that come in that want to financially contribute, to the thing,
That's amazing.
Just from showing up.
It's really nice when all you got to do is show up and do you, which is so cool. And Melanie Gray says, good afternoon, Cheryl and Rob. It is afternoon. It feels like evening. So glad that you're joining us. Rob, you're such an inspiration with just your like strategy and go and just being open to like, yeah, let's shift, especially in their genres. I think country is one of them. The pop, it takes a little while. I think Christian gospel, they take a while to pivot. And there's sort of stigmas of like the old how to do it. And I love that you came in, you're like, I'm in one of those genres that's been around for a really long time. So it's really easy to get stuck in like, this is how it's done. And you're just like, yeah, or how about this? Like, you're kind of like always willing to explore the or. And I think that's really been serving you and just the moves you've been making. It's been really cool to watch.
And amplifying what you're doing has really helped kind of inspire that and encourage that. Because I mean, all artists, all creative people, you got to kind of keep, moving forward and reinventing yourself and, reevaluating what you're doing. And man, just this is it's such a fast moving target. Like the whole way the music business works is continually evolving. And, what worked, that's so 3 years ago, so yeah. When I came into this thing, I wasn't very familiar much with Spotify, believe it or not. So I had to learn the Spotify game.
Yeah, I hadn't really done the Spotify thing that, people are like, you do all the things. I'm like, no, I have not until recently really looked at my Spotify. And one of the things in my world of email, there are a lot of things you can focus on: writing, loving on the ones you got, selling to the people you got. Growth is a whole part of the strategy. I haven't been focusing on growth since I stopped touring. People are like, your list is so small, but you're able to like fund all these things. I'm like, yeah, because I'm able to fund all these things. Like my list is doing just fine. So that's part of my plan for 2021, but you can't do all the things. We can only do so much as an independent artist and then get support in the things that we've chosen to do, which is kind of what we're doing here. So yeah.
Well, one thing you said that I just want to say has really helped me also is just love on the people that you've got, and like, so like, my audience isn't huge, but man, super engaged, and the
Yeah.
people that are there are like, they really care, which is awesome.
That's the goal, right? That's what you
Yeah.
want. You don't want 1,000 people that are just not saying anything. I would rather have 10 people that are like, "Oh my God, awesome," than crickets from a whole entire crowd. I really mean that. And
Yeah.
so, and that's where, I mean, here's the next thing for you. I mean, this is not supposed to be a coaching call, but it sounds
I'll
like if
take it.
they're that engaged and they're that ready to go and they're consuming and they're showing up, they're giving you so much time. They're going to have no problem taking the time to copy and paste something that you've written, inviting their friends to come to the next show.
Mhm.
So it sounds like you're at the point where maybe it's time to get these people that are very loyal and who have been donating and contributing to you financially and time wise to now it's time to have them share. Let's do a little growth push and have them do it for you.
Mhm.
And they're going to
Mhm.
be like, all right, create a game. Like, how many new people do we want to have on the next live show or by next week or whatever? And so that they
Ooh,
get
that's a
to
good
play
idea.
that game with you,
That's a really good idea, because some people are just doing it naturally. They'll share with their friends, hey, this, if it's a right fit.
And some people would do it if they had the idea, but they just haven't thought of it yet. So we
Right.
get to plant those seeds, which is so cool. So you guys
Yeah.
see how Rob was like writing notes? You're such a yes to like anything. I love it. You're like, okay, if this is gonna work, let's just give it a try. So I try not to say things that won't work.
Yeah.
Usually the things have at least a decent percentage chance of working. So
Well, I mean, like a lot of musicians, I came looking for answers, you know what I mean? Like I had some conundrums, and I think the people who'd be interested in Amplify are probably in the similar, situations. Like, how do I crack this code,
yeah, and it's the code that we've built, and so now it's like maybe we need to recode it. You keep talking about Amplify. I want to talk a little bit more about you, but if you are a musician listening and you want to check out Amplify, there's a wait list.
Oh,
We
cool.
open enrollment twice a year. It's happening at the end of this month. Get on the wait list. You'll get some goodies, and then you'll learn more about it, and we'll get you in. But there's the link scrolling below. But Rob, so you're releasing music. You've got singles. You're in creation mode, and you're in getting it out there mode. So where do we get to go as new listeners of Rob's music? How do we get to hear? Where are you sending people to hear this music, to download it? What do you want us to do?
Yeah, I wish I had a great answer for that. Well, I have my website, robstillmusic.com is a great place to go. Get on my, email list, and you get 3 of my best songs as a bundle there. And but Spotify, I'm on Spotify, and all my stuff is there. I've been working on doing videos for YouTube. Like I just released today a new lyric video for my Christmas project.
Awesome.
And what else was I going to say about? It's called Joyful.
Oh, look at that! Oh my gosh, it's so joyful. I love the cover. I like
it is, isn't it? Happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So great.
I'm not on. There we go. Yeah.
There you go. I love it. So awesome. Congratulations. So we got a lyric video out. Is all of the stuff and links to Spotify, everything at robstillmusic.com?
Yes, actually, it is all there. But if you go to Spotify and just look for my name, Rob Still.
Rob Still.
Yep. I'm there.
So
yeah.
exciting.
And I was going to say one other thing that you gave me. I think you gave me this idea, which was basically I did this project a couple years ago, but I hadn't thought about, every Christmas, man, have a fresh way of promoting it again and letting people know it exists. And I mean, I was like typical musician. I did that, and now it's done and on to the next thing. I'm like, no, man, this is evergreen. You know?
It's evergreen, and which means it's new for someone else. It's not new for
Right.
you, but it's going to be new, especially if the production is good. Like there is a thing of sounding dated, but so much music recently that I would say in the past 15 years, the production style is like, I listened to stuff that came out in the early 2000s and you could still release that today. So as long as you're proud of the production, just because it's old for you does not mean it won't be brand spanking new and refresh someone's holiday playlist. That would be a welcome thing for many dinner tables, I'm sure.
Exactly. I mean, that's the thing. If I'm like, I like it, it's good enough. It's like the production, it's production styles nowadays are all over the map anyway. And, be trendy with what matters to you,
Yeah. Oh, I love that. So we're going to find Rob Still. We're going to add his holiday album to our holiday playlists. If you got one, we're on Spotify, or go to robstillmusic.com, and we're going to get on the mailing list because that's what you're asking us to do. And we're going to get a bundle of some good songs, and we get to stay tuned and see what's happening next with this project that you're doing. And we get an opportunity so many days a week to see you live, which is so exciting.
Yes. That's mainly on Facebook Live. So I guess you can go to Facebook and look for me and you'll find the link. Is that the best way to do it? Or should I put one in the comments?
You can put one in the comments. Yeah,
Okay.
you can put whatever links you want in the comments. Put them all. Or just put a link on your website because everyone's going to go to robstillmusic.com anyway.
Yes.
Right, people? I see you. We are becoming, this is what we're doing. We're amplifying independent musicians.
Yeah.
We are supporting small businesses this season because guess what? Independent musicians are small business owners. So supporting their music, going and listening on Spotify, downloading, all that stuff, it's free for us. And we just get cool content. So thank you so much for this.
Thank you, Cheryl. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I love your energy. I love your yes, can do ness. And it's really good to have you in here and just be such a cheerleader for other musicians too, in addition to your own career and your listeners who are getting so much just love and joy, hence the record name.
There you go.
Yeah. Awesome. Thanks, Rob.
Thank you, Cheryl. All right. I hope there's more people that come, as a result of all this 12 days of Amplify. That would be awesome. Yeah.